I want to thank Jackery for sponsoring this video. If you're looking for a way to charge and power your devices on your next outdoor adventure, give Jackery's line of portable power stations a look. I have personally been using the Jackery Explorer 240 and it has been doing a great job at powering my off-grid office and keeping my camera equipment charged and ready to go. For a more in-depth look at the Jackery Explorer 240, check out the link at the end of this video. Alright, well, we've been out for a couple days now in the KIA Telluride. Like I said, for those that are following along, we picked up this KIA Telluride just 2 days ago from Ron Tonkin Kia out of Gladstone. I really appreciate it to them for contacting the channel and wanting to know if I would like to run around in one of the new 2020 KIA Tellurides and camp out of it over the next few months. So anyways, I thought what I'd do is, since I've had a couple days with it, I'd show you how I've got the Kia set up for camping on this trip. Now, like I said in previous videos, this is a pretty temporary setup because the car is going to get a few modifications, or quite a few modifications, over the next coming weeks. And if you guys want to follow along with that, be sure to subscribe to the channel. As is right now, like I said, I thought I'd show you how I'm using the car in its completely stock form with a few pieces of the gear that I just grabbed out of my typical setup. Alright, so first and foremost, I thought we'd go over the sleeping arrangements. So what I've been doing when I show up at camp every night is I unload the Kia and I lay out my sleeping bags, and then underneath the sleeping bags I also have this gray mat. It's a 2.5-inch mat, but the one thing I'm really enjoying about the Kia Telluride is it's very spacious in here. I'm 6'4", and I can get in here and I can lay down and completely stretch out, and there's no problem. I fit in here perfectly. One of the other features that I really like about it is the fact that I can climb in through the back, and then I can just hit, I think, this button here. And the tailgate opens and closes for me just like that. So it makes it really great. If I want to let the dogs out or I need to get out in the night, it's a lot easier to go through the back than to try to open the door, one of these side doors, and crawl in and out that way. So having that feature, being able to remotely control the back door, is fantastic. But like I said, with it like this, and the two sleeping bags to kind of add comfort and warmth for both me and the dogs, we have plenty of room to sleep in here. I can, change clothes, do whatever I need to do, and it works out really good. All right, so outside of the car, I have my Snowmaster fridge. This is the Snowmaster LP66, and I put it outside, and I also kind of set it right here in front of the back of the car, so that way the dogs can use it as a way to get into the car, because my dogs are a little bit older. They're not that the Telluride's really high, but they're 12 and 13 years old, and it's a little bit difficult for them to jump in. So this gives them an extra step to go from outside to in. So that way, like if we're in sleeping and they need to go outside, all they have to do is, again, hit that remote, open the back door, they can go in and out of the car as they need. And that's actually been working out really well. But of course, the Snowmaster's real job is to keep my food cold. And this is, like I said, dual zone, and it can be fridge or freezer, or fridge, freezer, freezer. And right now I've just got it set up to both sides fridge, and I'm keeping my food and the dog's food in here because my dogs are on the raw diet. So that keeps all our food. And how I'm keeping it running outside the car is I'm using this Jackery little portable power station. This is actually one of the Jackeries that is branded by Honda. So this is a 290 watt hour, I believe, or 292, I'm not really sure, but it's basically a little Jackery unit. It has a AC port, a cigarette lighter port, 2 USB ports, and then of course the charge port. And then so the cigarette lighter port is what I'm using for the Snowmaster. So all I have to do is plug it into there. That keeps my fridge running. And then when it's inside the car, when the Snowmaster is inside the car and we're traveling, I used a cigarette lighter port that's available on the just on the inside of the car here in the back, and I actually plug the charge cord for the Jackery into it, so that keeps the Jackery charged up while we're driving, and then I just keep the Snowmaster plugged into the Jackery, and that's been a really good system that's worked really well for keeping the fridge running and keeping the Jackery running for me. So now off to over here, you know, of course we just got water. This is just store-bought water in jugs. That's just kind of convenient. In this tote here, I just have some dry goods like canned food, snacks like granola bars, things like that in there. I've got the 2 dog bowls for them, a plate for me to eat on. In this tote here is just my spare clothing. And one of the things I forgot when I was hastily trying to pull stuff out of my older camp setup and throw it all in the car and get taken off is I forgot to grab a table. So I'm using my closed tote as a small table for my Camp Chef Summit Series stove. It's a 2-burner stove, so that's been working good. I have a 10-inch skillet, cast iron skillet, a couple of different accessories for cooking, you know, a spatula, a set of tongs, and then I have my bush pot here for boiling water and making coffee and stuff in the morning. Off to the side of the car on the far side, because I don't have my, like I said, my typical setup. I don't have my chainsaw and stuff with me that I usually have when I'm out on these trips. So I've just been buying some bundles of wood at some of the local stores, and I've got that stacked off to the side for a campfire for later tonight. And then on this side of me, I just have my camp chair. So I have a nice place to kind of sit and relax by the fire in the evening. All right, so the Telluride comes standard with this little flip-up compartment. Underneath here, you actually get quite a bit of storage. And so what I've got down here is I've got me a little shovel. This is also where I'm keeping all my kitchenware that I just showed earlier, the pot, this 10-inch skillet, and other cooking utensils. I have an axe, propane for the stove. And there's actually, you can see there's still a lot of other more room in here that I could actually store a few more things. But this has just been a really good out of the way area where I could store a lot of this gear that I've got in the car. All right, so now we are right behind the seats of the driver's seat and the passenger seat. With the seats down in the Kia, you still have a lot of room down in the footwell area to store gear, or in my case, I'm using this as a storage or a charge location for all my camera gear. I have another one of my Jackery units here. This is the Jackery 240, and I have it plugged into the cigarette lighter port that's available on the back of the Kia, back of the center console inside the Kia, and that's keeping it charged, and therefore it's keeping using the USB ports and everything off of it to keep it charged. So that way I can be charging all my camera gear even when I'm sitting and the car's not on or running. But when I'm driving, again, the Kia itself keeps the Jackery unit charged up and going in between locations. So that's working out really well. On the other side, I just got a couple items. I've got a small little bin that I keep bathrooms kit, and then I have a set of muck boots over there. All right, so we're in the front passenger seat of the car. This is where I'm keeping my laptop and all my photography gear. I've got in the front seat here, this is my laptop bag. It's got all my laptop and all the accessories I need for it. Down below here, I've got lighting equipment. I've got gimbal. I've got some tripods. In here, this is my little backpacking backpack, which I keep my drone in, and also will throw a camera in when I'm out hiking around trying to get shots, photography shots or video for the channel. In the door, I've got slipped in the little cubby in the door, my little chest pack, and so that pretty much goes over how I've got the car set up when I'm in a camping spot. So let's load her up and I'll show you what she looks like with all this gear inside her and the dogs and everything packed inside. All right, so that gets the bed all set up for the dogs. It lays out, that gives them enough room where they both can lay down and stretch out, and a lot of comfort with the 2 sleeping bags and the mattress. So that's fantastic. So now let's go ahead and get the wood and the totes loaded in here. Now, one of the things is Kia put in this nice Telluride rubber mat, so it's keeping the carpet and everything clean from all the dirty firewood and everything else that I'm throwing in the back of this car. All right, so now that I've got all that in there, I'll load the fridge in. I'm going to take the Jackery Honda unit and I'll plug it into its charger here, which is, like I said, is plugged into the car, and it just kind of sets tucked away on the side here. And then I can grab the fridge, heavy, and set it into the car. Now with the fridge right here, I'll plug into the Jackery. Like I said before, the Jackery plugs into the car keeps the Jackery charged while I'm driving, but when I'm not driving, the Jackery keeps the refrigerator running, so that's all working out well. But there's enough room in the way that the car is angled. I can still shut the back, but I can still easily open and access and get into my refrigerator and be able to get food out when I'm on the road. I also, when I loaded the totes in, I made sure to put my dry good totes on top so that way I can get to it. So if I do want to stop and have a snack on the road, I can easily get to these food items. Now, I am going to stick in, I just slide the Camp Chef, slides in right there. And then I will also too, I never forget my bottle of Pendleton on every trip. It slides in right there. All my water, I'll just slide right into here. All right, so now my chair will go in, folds in, I put it in, I just throw it on the back side between the totes and the refrigerator, and it just tucks in right like that, and then that's all loaded in. All right, so the last thing that I put in here is the dogs' bowls. I can set them right there, right by the water. That makes it easy for me if I want to stop and let the dogs out and get them some water. The bowl and the water is all right there, and it makes it very simple. I could load the water bowls down here in the little storage compartment, but with the refrigerator sitting on it, it makes it a lot harder to access, so that's why I just choose to keep them out and handy. But like I said, if you like this video and you want to see some more of what we're going to be doing to this Telluride, definitely hit the subscribe button. Make sure you hit the little bell notification so that you get videos, because we are going to be doing quite a bit to this car over the next coming weeks. As of tomorrow, it will be at the tire shop. It will be at Les Schwab in Gladstone, where it will be getting tires and wheels. And then we'll be going to Wanderlust Overland. And you can follow them on Instagram. Make sure to follow them on Instagram so you can also follow that way the build. But I'll be going to Wanderlust Overland, where I'll be getting a rack, bumpers, winch, lift, receiver for my little Overland trailer, and various other dual battery system, a lot of different things. So if you want to follow along with all that, like I said, make sure you subscribe to me, and make sure to follow Wanderlust Overland on Instagram. You should be seeing a little thing down below, and you can follow along with the build there. Also, you know, of course, thanking Ron Tonkin Kia out of Gladstone. Be sure to follow them on Instagram and let them know that you're excited about this build and watching and following along. So definitely, because they're the ones making all of this possible. So we definitely want to make sure that it gets some love. And if you are interested in a Telluride, if it's something that you're looking at for purchasing, definitely make sure you give them a look. But like I said, if you like this video, please give it a like. And like I said, I've already said, you know, subscribe if you want to follow along. And I'll catch you guys again outside.